Lost in Translation was a movie released back in 2003, written and directed by Sofia Coppola, and stars Bill Murray as Bob Harris, an aging movie star endorsing a Japanese whiskey, and Scarlett Johansson as Charlotte, a young, married, fresh-out-of-college girl staying with her workaholic photographer husband and struggling to find herself amid a new, interesting foreign place. The movie received lots of awards and nominations, including winning Best Original Screenplay and nominated for Best Actor and Best Picture. But what is the movie really about? On the surface, it seems like it's just about two lost souls who happen to be staying in the same hotel in Japan, help each other get through their respective vacations, and by the end, they say goodbye and go their separate ways in life. But when you really look deeper, there's actually a lot more going on, primarily with how these two are stuck in life and how they help each other move again. The opening shot of the film is obviously very risque, not just because it's framed and shot with inspiration from a John Cassier painting, but believe it or not, there's already symbolism in this one shot alone. Firstly, the movie shows us a lot of colors, particularly red, pink, orange, blue, and green. Whenever we see red, it's usually when the characters feel the most stuck. Think of it like a red traffic light or red brake lights, showing that the characters are literally stopped, stuck in one place. According to an image made by the Depression Project, there are 3 stages of depression as defined by the traffic light method: red, orange, and green, ranging symptoms from severe to mild. Obviously, this method is more recent considering the film's release, but it makes sense given the movie's symbolism. When they both lay together and Charlotte says,
"I'm stuck,"
she wears a red shirt. The different carpet samples that Bob's wife sends to him are all different shades of red, and even the lounge singer he sleeps with has red hair. Often when we see both characters on their own, they are usually still, sitting alone, representing how motionless they feel with nothing to move them, either forward in life or even emotionally. And sometimes when this happens, their environment contains red of some kind. They are both stuck at a red stoplight. Whenever we see pink, it's a color specifically associated with Charlotte. Pink often represents femininity, compassion, health, innocence. In Charlotte's specific case, it represents the desire to be happy. After she gets off the phone with Lauren, she cries and then starts dressing herself up with pink lipstick. She hangs up a pink decoration, and she wears her pink panties. By this, we can conclude that this opening shot represents the desire to be happy while being stuck in one place. She lies motionless on the bed. She tries to move a little at one point, but then rests back in her original position, meaning that even when she tries to move even a little, it doesn't work and she remains stuck. Which in a way is kind of foreshadowing a couple of things. Firstly, when she travels to that shrine, she tries to put herself in motion again and goes to a place to be moved. But as she later confesses, she feels nothing, and we next see her back at the hotel, the place that represents her feelings of being stuck. Also, when she enters into that floral place where women gather to create arrangements for themselves, she still feels empty and ends up back in her place of motionlessness. Bob doesn't just feel stuck in one place in life, he feels completely lost and out of place.
Whatever you like. I'm completely lost.
The movie begins with him essentially waking up in a new world, technically moving, but disoriented. Everything's strange to him except his whiskey ad. Often, he's seen wearing black, which could not only represent his feelings of being lost, but void and empty as well. When he's working, he remains motionless. He ends the photography session with a blank look of indifference on him. So this is where my career has gotten me. I'm such a joke. But when Bob wants to be happy, he wears orange, a color representing adventure, sociability, courage, and motivation. Oftentimes, when both characters are together, they are constantly moving, their lives feeling in motion again, perhaps symbolizing that when they are together, they not only feel in motion, but alive. When Charlotte kisses her husband goodbye and he leaves, she remains still. She gazes out the window, motionless, feeling stuck. She then takes a dip in the pool. Water is often used as a symbol for cleanliness and purification. And then the very next thing she sees is her new friend. They agree to go out and see people she knows. When they do, we see almost everything in blue, which is a color of peace and serenity. They run and move from place to place and end up at the apartment where they sing karaoke. The famous shot in the film is when they are sitting quietly in the hallway, wearing their respective happy colors, the best they felt in probably a long time. And then we cut to them moving again. Bob tenderly puts her to bed and then makes an unhappy call to his family, leading him right back to lying down, feeling stuck and lost. After Bob and Charlotte decide to leave the strip club, they both start moving again and come upon their individual roadblocks, as it were, which they help each other get out of. They come across Bob's whiskey ad, and Charlotte gets them moving again. They come upon the flirty actress that Charlotte doesn't like, and after moving slowly past her, Bob gets them excitedly running again. When they start hanging out in his room, there's one shot where we're looking out a window at moving traffic. We then rack focus to a reflection of them sitting together on the bed, an obvious visual representation of how they both feel their lives have movement when they are together. After they both have that deep talk about their lives and marriages, we then cut to Charlotte in motion again. She visits a place where she comes upon a Japanese bride. She stops to take it in. We can tell that she feels something this time, not just by the look in her eyes, but also, she keeps moving again. On to the next place where she pauses to take in the moment and then proceeds to move forward again. Earlier, she was trying other things like listening to a spiritual CD or trying to arrange flowers, but that all fails to move her and she remains stuck. But when we experience human connection, when we're able to communicate with people, whether it be about our troubles or doubts or fears or anything, then we're able to keep moving forward again. We live to be moved, and we move to live. Sometimes, when Bob sees Charlotte and starts to feel even a hint of happiness, he's faced with a reflection of himself, almost as if he's forced to confront who he is, or it could be that he's starting to find himself and doesn't feel lost with her help. After that night with Charlotte in his room, he decides to start moving again by getting out, pausing to take in a moment for himself, and then proceeds moving again. After he agrees to go on that crazy talk show, however, he starts to feel like a joke again. There's even one moment where he's literally covered up by the color red, another stoplight. He not only winds up back at the bar, but he ends up sleeping with the red-headed singer, which causes tension between him and Charlotte. They end up having that really tense and awkward lunch where, for the first time, they seem motionless together, which leads right to the sound of a fire alarm, causing them to wake up out of bed, an obvious wake-up call out of their current hazard zone, if you will. But it stops after they spot each other in a small crowd, and they talk like everything's okay again. The next time we see red, it's when it's right between them. With Bob leaving really soon, they now feel stuck in a choice. They have to move on with their lives, but they're stopped by each other because they found happiness together and they don't want to leave. Obviously, they have to do the inevitable. They have a very uncomfortable and awkward goodbye at first, but once Bob spots her in a crowd, he stops moving and catches up to her. They remain motionless one last time as the rest of the world moves around them. Now before, when Charlotte said goodbye to her husband, she remains still. But when Bob says goodbye to her, she proceeds moving again. And then after that, he decides to start moving again too. Not just in his ride to the airport, but in his life. We know this because as he's riding in the car down the road, we see that all the lights are now green. This is an indicator that they have helped each other get out of their feelings of being stuck and lost and are moving forward again. Maybe she might take a risk and start a career out of something. Maybe he'll do more to be with his family and start doing more serious acting jobs. The bottom line is, we all feel stuck when we're lost in translation. But when we're able to communicate and thereby connect, we can move forward and be happy. What's up guys, J-Man here. What'd you guys think of this video? Whatever it is, don't be shy, leave a reply. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook, X, and please support me on Patreon. All links are down below in the description. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the J-Man. Keep looking deep.